We'll see if they can tie it up. Here we go. Picks and bans, Najin Blacksword versus the KT Bullets. Here on Champions Winter. What's it going to be? Ah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, Cacaw's a great Lee Sin player, too, so it's not just Insect, although you do have to think about last game.
I do find the Kassadin bans a bit interesting because I've always thought that Ryu's Kassadin, he has really actually poor positioning on that champion, and he's not been, I don't think it's ban-worthy against this player. He may have gotten a little bit better, but Lucian taken out as well. So what will be the first pick? The Olaf is there. Of course, there it is.
Evelyn
the
got
Evelyn.
through. And watch on Evelyn. That's something that is not exactly new for him.
No, it's not.
Definitely one of the best jungle Evelyns of champion seasons past.
So now we see if the KT Bullets have as good of a plan for the second game as they had for game number one. The Elise is probably a champion they'll go ahead and take right here. For Cacao, more than likely. That's one of the strong power picks still left on the board.
Yeah, it is.
They could go for a similar composition with Elise and Italy like we saw them take last time.
Sure enough, there's the Elise, and there's a Tarek. Is he going to lock it in? Yeah, he locked it in. Okay.
It's
just a little bit bugged.
It'll be good for the stun up there. It's a targeted stun that can disengage from this Evelyn, which will be pretty nice for the duo lane if that's where it goes, which I think we can safely assume that it will. So the KT Bullets mixing it up. They have 2 single target stuns already, so we may be looking at another kind of pick competence like last game.
Yeah. Imagine though a top lane Insect Tarek. Pretty fun.
It may happen.
I doubt it, but I'd love to see it.
Honestly, teleport Tarek in the top lane may not be that bad right now.
Yeah, you're right. It sounds a bit crazy, but you are right. You have a point there. Rengar and Cinder picked up. Ooh, a Diana. That'd be interesting, but I think we're probably going to see something a bit different. Master Yi would be a bit different. Cloud Templar's champions would be a bit different.
So Najin Sword sticking to their guns this time, picking up the Rengar and the Syndra once more.
Yeah. You know, Maokai has a single target stun too.
He does. I don't think we're going to be seeing him this game.
I don't think so. He's just toying with us. They do this. They're not just torturing you guys. They're torturing us too.
And especially Cloud Templar.
They're torturing Cloud Templar, yeah. Well, he's already had to endure like an entire tribute game. It's been a rough season for him.
All right, so top lane Olaf coming in.
Yeah.
Insect did play this once before this season in Champions.
That's right.
He did relatively well.
And like we said, Dewey, at least just not really Insect's type of champion.
Right, and he'll switch over to, of course, Ghost Ignite so he can get that engage in. But the missing piece right here is they need some way to really engage on the composition more than just this Olaf. We could see Ryu pick up an Ori right here. We could see Ryu pick up maybe a Lissandra.
Yeah, Lissandra would not be bad. That's a good one.
Lissandra would be good if they're going for a more teamfight-oriented composition.
I say Vigar. Yeah. All right. And will we see the classic Twitch Zone bot lane, even though it's not Prey and Kayn anymore? It's still a classic sword bot lane. 10 seconds remaining on the champion select. Will they lock it in?
So when they pick this one up, they do have a little bit more options in terms of initiation. It is a bit risky, of course, with Evelyn coming in from a flank or Twitch coming in from a flank, but they've got 2 invisible champions right now.
3 invisible champions with Rengar.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And so they banned the Lee Sin, so they're not, KT Bullets not going to have the E to kind of cut through that invisibility anymore.
I think
that said, the KT Bullets,
yeah,
after we saw their game with so many pinks, with so much emphasis on that vision last time around, it is a little bit risky. I think in normal circumstances here on this patch, this is a solid idea coming out from Najin Blacksword, but with the proficiency that we saw from the Bullets, it may not work.
I think Orion is a good pickup here because against a team like this, they can tell Sword wants to come in with these big invisible flanks, and you're going to need someone like Oriana to help your team reposition quickly. So it's also, you know, playmaking champion, of course, but I'm going to keep him a little bit safer maybe.
I think Oriana is the best choice here, both in terms of disengage, which I think you're absolutely right they need against this invisibility, as well as a way to engage during Insect's ult on Olaf.
True. So there we go. They're going to lock it in. No big shock there. So Najin Blacksword with a very unique comp coming into game number 2 here, and they need to win this game. Like, even though this is still grouped, this game is basically their season.
Yes.
It's going to be really tough if they lose this to come back and make the playoffs. So yeah, this is it. This is really it for Najin Sword in most scenarios.
Yes. Yes, indeed it is. Well, yeah, KT Bullets swapping around. Insect up in the top lane. He is going all off there, just trolling again. But
I would imagine, yeah. He's got that ghost. You don't see Ghost do these a lot. Right. Yeah. And there we go. All right.
I'm really curious how well Najin Blacksword can pull this invisibility comp off, because they've had issues in terms of their rotations and shot calling, and this is very delicate. They need to catch out members of the KT Bullets, because if they get out of position, if one of them engages even slightly too soon, the number of single target stuns on this team is high, and they will get picked, they will get stunned, and then 100-0 effectively instantly. So this is going to require very good coordination on the engages from Najin Blacksword.
Yeah, Sword has an incredibly intricate team comp. We'll see if they can pull it off. Ezreal versus Twitch, Score versus Prey. Prey, of course, a notable Ezreal player back in the day as well. And Song continuing to fill in on that support role, done a pretty good job. But I'm excited to see another Tarek, guys. And it is time. The game is loading up. An incredibly important game for Sword. Can they do it? Here we go, guys. Game number 2, Group B Set 2, Najin Blacksword versus the KT Bullets. You're on Champions Winter with Doe and Monte Cristo. Insect chucking axes already.
Well, as we can see, Blue Pot start again. We saw this a little bit earlier today coming out of Horo, so that influence creeping in from IEM Cologne.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before in Korea. I mean, we didn't really see Jungle Eve play until actually at All-Stars when Diamond played him against the Korean team, and Insect kind of brought that back from All-Stars, from Europe, and you can tell, I think, that a lot of these Korean players are paying a bit more attention to other regions than they did before the World Championship.
Oh yeah, totally. It's really cool to see too. There's another one of those early awards. And of course, Mafa using his sweeping lens for that. He did not pick up, or not using a trinket because he has a sweeping lens. That's what I'm trying to say.
Indeed. Well, we are going to see the shield start onto Tarek as well. So that's more what I expected to see the last time we saw Tarek. But okay, it looks like an early jungle contest here.
Yeah, a couple members.
Okay.
KT hiding in the brush, and there they go.
Yep, 2 wards going down immediately, actually. So disabling one, not quite able to clear the other one in time. And how deep do they want to go? There's 4 members of the Bullets right here.
That's right. We'll see. This is quite the level 1 battle. Can Sword grab this blue? Another sweeper goes down, and there's a flash dazzle on the watch. They're going to go all the way in. Insect gets exhausted immediately. They really want to get this kill on watch. It would be huge. Insect has to break off Mafa as well. There's a flash from Prey. They pick up the kill onto Insect, and they're going to get this blue buff. Well, maybe, but they did get first blood. Yeah,
Mafa's here, though, and that singles target stun, again, very dangerous. Score just sitting up here farming, but Peng actually hit level 2 by staying in mid lane right there, while Ryu's still only level 1.
Wow, I can't believe this. This is taking so long. They really need to get
Insect is nearly back right now.
He is. This is insane. The blue buff getting a little bit low. Watch trying to pick it up. He will. And they steal it. Getting the first blood and the blue steal took a long time, but not a bad start for Sword.
No, certainly not. I mean, Insect blew both of his summoners right there. He was trying for an early jungle follow, and Sword really committing to taking that blue buff, but ultimately a good decision. Prey coming in with his E early on to pick up a kill.
Well, Mafa blew both of his summoners as well, getting that flash dazzle onto watch to start that off with, and Unfortunately, not able to pick up any kills from it. It's a bit rough early on.
Well, this ripples out, of course, more. You can see Ryu already at a bit of a deficit in terms of experience right here. He's going to be forced to play even more passively than he normally would in this matchup. And
there's not a lot
he's
of
down on CS as well, so
yeah.
Ryu just, if he was going to react, he should have reacted sooner, or not, or alternatively just not at all, because he gave up a lot in that mid lane.
Yeah. You add on top of that too that Syndra is one of the few champions that can actually go toe-to-toe as far as that mid lane zoning goes with Orianna.
Well, I mean, look at this again, too, because Mappa was down at the blue buff. Expression was able to actually get farm and experience up in that top lane. So we're seeing him at 3 and second 1, and with a 13 CS lead. This is exactly where you want to be, because if you can get those levels quickly in a 1v2 on Rengar, you can really level up your roar to keep your sustain up in lane, and you can't be pushed out at all. He's already 4 right now, so the KT Bullets starting this game very far behind.
You know, and I think, too, we can see from this just how close all the teams in Group B are. You know, we're seeing already a wild swing in favor of Sword in Game 2.
So I mean, we can see some pretty standard play right here from Najin Sword. And the dangerous thing now, too, is they've got the advantage in terms of their solo lanes in particular, and we have this jungle Evelynn. So KT Bullet's going to have to, they're at a deficit. In order to stop this, they're going to have to buy pink wards, spend those money on the pink wards, which puts them at even more of a deficit. And that's where a very dangerous snowball starts to form, where you take a risk, don't buy the pink wards and try and catch up, or you spend even more money, buy the pink wards, and fall further behind. And maybe Evelynn just farms the jungle the entire time. You have no idea.
Yeah. It's not an easy decision. Well, Insec having to go back already. Expression still doing pretty well.
Yeah, very dangerous, but that was a solidly executed level 1 strategy for Najin Blacksword right there.
Yep.
And KT Bullets really overcommitted to trying to get a kill at level 1.
Yeah, they did. I applaud Maffa's bloodthirstiness, but sometimes you can go too far. Believe it or not, Monte Cristo. Sometimes
I'm shocked to hear you say that.
Even I get a little bit over aggressive sometimes. I know it's hard to accept, but I am human. I do make mistakes.
All right, well, Cacao coming here. You may wait for the wave to pile a little bit. Watch still discontent rolling through his jungle.
Yeah, he's got to do some farming.
And Insect comes back to lane with a health crystal to complement his level 1 Doran's shield. Just needs to stick around in that lane a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's not a bad start. I mean, that'll get him a little bit more durability under turret.
Watch on the other side of the map, but Elise Cacao deciding just to recall right there, not seeing a play available, and not deciding for the 3 versus 1 lane in order to try and get that tower down early, because they are losing this tower race right now, which is allowing Watch just all the time in the world to run through his jungle.
Yeah. And more, wow, that turret already getting really low. More damage onto that coming out of Praying Song.
Yeah, it's got about 1 more wave left.
Pretty much. Insec is going to finally get freed up a little bit to do some farming, but at what cost, Monte Cristo?
Pretty high cost indeed. Peng has managed to take a 20 CS lead or so in this mid lane.
Wow, yeah.
To boot, and not to mention the 25 that Expression has on Insect. So, I mean, Najin Sword, they are firmly in control of essentially every aspect of this game.
Oh, yeah.
They've got the pressure advantage. They have the CS advantage.
Watch.
They got the first blood. They stole the buff. I mean, they are winning in pretty much every conceivable way.
Oh, Cacao nearly gets a bit caught there. The repel giving Ryu time to come back in. Cacao's going to have to flash, though. They're going to trap Watch. Watch in a bit of trouble. Has to use his flash. They trap him again with the Dazzle, and that is a kill for KT, evening things up, and they may be able to grab this Baron off of it. Ooh, that'd be dangerous. Yeah, backing off. Thought about it for a second. They were going towards it. Broke off at the last moment.
Well, I mean, that was Maffa right there. KT Bullets knew to come back into this game, they had to make some sort of play.
Yeah, I got that flash Dazzle off again.
Yeah, and so Maffa really in the right place at the right time, feeling comfortable leaving Score up in the lane alone. Of course, as Score has gotten a few levels here, since he was left up there in the solo lane, he's already hit 6, so he can clear the wave very effectively.
Yep.
And with the Rengar builds being pretty tanky in general these days, going for Sunfire and Spirit Visage first, not going to be doing quite so much damage in the early game, and with the escapes Ezreal has, Score is fine by himself. So the roaming support really working out right into the bullets.
Well, Score is already a carry that doesn't find himself getting caught too often, so combine that with Ezreal, one of his best champions, and yeah, I'll leave him in a 1v2 or any 1v1 any day. And this turret, its days are numbered. Sword should be able to clear it this wave, and there it goes. Sword takes that first turret, a little bit of damage on the Insect as they push through the lane a little bit farther.
Yeah, the main issue with what's happened so far in this game with Mafia. His watch goes in.
Agnes Embrace comes in. Ryu has to flash, has to get away. Manages to make it out. Close call there.
Yeah, the main issue with the start of the Relic Shield is that Mafia was delayed a long time from going to lane due to that blue buff contest, and then his roaming as well. So he hasn't really been able to maximize the use out of that item.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
in retrospect, we can say probably Ancient Coin would have been better in this situation.
Always safe for Expression. Speaking of safe, pops his ultimate getaway.
So they respond with some more turret damage and an attempt at a blue buff steal right here. Expression popping a ward down.
Yeah. And Expression is trying to be annoying and can't quite steal that blue buff. Gets wrapped up. And KT will back off.
And they don't get the turret either, so the Dragon snapped up right there by Najin Blacksword, and they keep the top tower alive, at least for the moment. Insect trying to free farm his way back into relevance in this game.
Yeah.
So they gave up the Dragon. They finally get the tower to even things up a little bit, but Najin's Sword still with that edge.
Yep, looking pretty good so far. Not bad. And I mean, you know, what you mentioned about Mafia getting the Relic Shield and all that, I do agree, and I think that's why we're going to see just mostly coins from everybody right now, because those types of items, like the Relic Shield, you aren't maybe as flexible to move between lanes as you were before, and oh, watch having to run from the red buff.
Yeah,
Oops.
no more mana.
Yeah.
And these camps, you know.
They do get stronger now.
Yeah, they do. It has changed a little bit.
Whoa,
Ryu.
crescendo onto Ryu. Ryu gets absolutely caught. Peng grabs that kill in the mid lane.
So the roaming support's not just Tarek, I guess.
Yeah, works for me.
Song pops out with a crescendo in that mid lane to help his laner get a kill.
So you're saying it was a pop song?
That's right. Pop song. Oh, boy.
Yep. Uh-oh, Prey. So distraught with that joke, he decides to just give himself up. I can't blame him. Sorry, Prey.
We can see, I was enjoying Ryu's face. I always enjoy watching Ryu's face.
Because it just never changes?
It never changes. He always looks so glum.
It's true. Prey's a little bit more animated. I wonder if Prey has ever actually cosplayed as Dodoria from Dragon Ball. I mean, we've seen all the cheerfuls, we've seen all the, you know, the scouter celebrations that he does in the booth. It's time to take it to the next level.
Gotta make it happen.
That's right. Make it happen. Make a play to Prey.
Make a play on getting the costume.
That's right. Make a cosplay of the Prey.
That's going to be his next cheerful, undoubtedly.
I'd love to see that. I could Photoshop that. Shoot it up, no problem.
Well, Insect starting for Spirit Visage here. A little bit of an interesting choice, and wow, Talisman of Ascension already picked up by Song. So just rushing that even before boots. I think they realized their engage problems last game, and they picked a very similar composition. So last time though, Mafia got the Talisman about the same time Song did, so they never had an edge with that item. So getting it here earlier, I think is a great idea to dive or to force a team fight early on.
Oh boy, here we go.
Retreat,
Kakao coming in. Hey, retreating is always an option. It's just advancing in the other direction.
Well, they do force Insect at least to come over, join the fight here as the pressure continues. Prey going back for a little bit of free farm, especially joining him on the other side of the map.
Yeah. Okay, so a little bit of relative calm now in the game for the moment as Prey comes to sort of subtly push that lane up. And not going to be able to do a whole lot. Ooh, Prey. There's the ward, yeah. Definitely need to check that out.
Finds Mafia in the brush. Mafia waiting for him right there, hoping for a little bit of an all-in.
Prey's too smart for that, though. Generally will not find himself caught in that way.
Watch joining him right now.
He could
KT
try to
Bullet's
bait
getting
something.
very low in this mid lane as well. Their mid tower Watch still creeping around the outside.
Ooh, does Watch bait this? Oh, they're never going to. Oh, the double invisible score immediately gets out. How in the world?
Well, I
You
mean,
get out that fast.
it's just fast reflexes. Knew
Yeah.
something was fishy after you didn't see Prey or Watch for a while.
Yep.
And that was smart positioning by Score there, right? Because he knew they couldn't be in tri-brush thanks to the pink ward. So by sticking close
Yeah.
to that wall, he really limited his risk in that situation. So very heads-up positioning by Score.
Yeah, good awareness of what was going on. Pretty impressive stuff, and that's why we used to call him the Immortal Score. It's so hard to get a kill on that guy.
Yeah, Peng and Song continuing to put this pressure down. One more wave should be about all it takes for Najin Blacksword to take an even bigger lead here.
Yeah. Now that turret's just basically going to get breathed on and go down. And Expression hiding up in this brush in the top lane.
Song coming up. They want to deal with Insect.
Yeah, they do. Can they dive this, do you think? 3-man.
Well, his Ghost is down, so they have a limited amount of time. However, Ragnarok is up, and uh-oh.
Oh, boy. They're going to try it. They're diving it. There's a crescendo over the top. Insect does not make it out. So the dive works, but they need to get out of there in a hurry.
Yeah, enough buffs right there. They don't know somebody's coming around the
Oh,
side. Song
Maffa
finally figures it out.
Coming up, there's a dazzle onto Song. Can they follow it up, though? Maffa going really deep. Kakao and Score there as well. Expression comes into the back line. Song getting a bit wrapped up. Peng trying to zone his best again. Song low. Needs to make it out. There's the repel. They can't do it. Expression trapped in the river now. Watch is there, but with no ultimate, he needs to back off.
Yeah, but Expression right there really did a lot to save Song's life. You can see he ulted backwards and then started throwing bolas out to stop everyone from chasing Song down. So nobody died right there, and a lot of it was Expression's work, and also the fact that Kakao missed his coup.
Maffa, he's got that flash, but not wanting to use the flash dazzle on to watch. Too easy for Upland to run away.
Got a little bit of a speed boost right there, so.
Yep. The speed boof.
The speed boof, as I like to call it.
That's right. Dragging up in a couple seconds.
Well, I like what we're seeing from the KT Bullets as well. They're switching over to kind of mass sweeping lenses, and you can see how many pink wards they're buying. And I mean, Ward Totem's just not going to be effective against 3 invisible champions if they want to gank you. So you might as well just go ahead and start countering their vision instead, using something a little bit more useful.
Here comes Maffa. Gonna clear out that ward for the moment. And, well, can KT do anything about this? Kakao coming in as well. They can't stop Sword from taking the dragon. Not this time. Well.
Expression going in right there, just clearing the wave. And
yeah.
I like how Najin Sword is playing the map this game. You know, by constantly roaming from lane to lane, they're creating a lot of mental pressure for the KT Bullets. They're having to adapt to all of these invisible champs. So in this case, you know, the Najin Blacksword, they don't even have to go for those kills necessarily. They can just continue to take objectives, to take dragons. But it just makes the KT Bullets so nervous.
Yeah. Prey doing a good job of pulling those minions up away from the turret too. Staying away from that brush, but he may be getting a little bit too close. Remember, Flash Dazzle isn't option. They're not even going to need to do it. Well, Turk's not even there, so no Dazzle really. They slow him. Very nice. Kakao comes in. They did get him. Or did they? Whoa, they got him a couple times, but he's still invisible. There's the barrier. Prey trying to escape. Has the flash. Dodges the undertow. And he'll actually make it out. What an incredible escape.
Right there, yeah, especially because, now here's the counter engage with Peng.
Peng coming in, gets a double stun, and the flash crescendo locks up Kakao. Insect still alive though, and Peng getting a bit low. They do get one kill. Insect seeking out Peng. Can he get him? It looks like he will. So at least they come away with one. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Expression coming on to Ryu. Maffa is right there, though.
Yeah, just stopping him, slowing the rotation down. He's still getting some decent damage, and here is Watch.
Oh, there's a shockwave. Nice job. They keep him alive. Expression does get that kill, and they back off.
Yeah, not good coordination right there. They could have, Watch just arriving a little bit late as Expression took too much damage from the kind of double all-ins. But, wow, that Score does get some decent damage down onto the turret as well. Najin Blacksword continues to hold a narrow lead. Watch reacting to this lane push.
That escape from Prey early on was something we used to see from him more often, but just shows, man, he's got the mechanics.
Yeah, in spite of getting hit too by multiple skill shots while invisible, still manages to make it out of a dicey situation, forces a pink ward as well, and then comes back in to help out his team on the kills.
Reminds me of like old school season 2 Prey on Ezreal.
Fun to see that again.
Oh, yeah. Well, Talisman picked up for a song. He does have a little bit of an edge, although Maffa really not working for it. Going for that Ruby Sight Stone and the Boots Mobility as well, just staying with that Tier 1 support item, sticking with the Relic Shield for now.
Yeah, well,
That's interesting.
He needs, I think, a little extra tankiness. And like I said, his roaming this game has made it so the Relic Shield is really, I don't think, was the best pickup right here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
he's not trying to stay in lane. In fact, Score has just been split pushing by himself for most of this game.
You really do have to be in lane.
It makes a lot more sense that he would shift up his build right here.
Yeah. Well, I think some of the support players here are learning something right along with us as far as these new items go.
Well, I mean, I don't think we could have. Nobody. There is always the danger of that level 1 blue contest if you're going to be in a 2v1 situation. So it's not like it wasn't predictable. But
isn't it? I feel like, isn't it true though? In the Korean scene, we see so many games that require a lot of lane swapping that you just can't count on ever being able to stay.
But it was the blue contest that really screwed it up, right?
Yeah.
Because if they hadn't kind of invaded on Ryu actually gets chucked and just demolished by Peng, who has been, by the way, spot on with his Scatter the Weeks today.
Yeah, he really has. It's been pretty sick. Insec fighting Expression under this turret. Expression has to back off after taking some of these turret hits. He will turn on to Insec. A little bit of a top lane duel here. Are they going to go all the way with this one? Expression taking a lot of damage. It's pretty even, but they're going to have to back off. I think there's kind of an unwritten code among top laners where it's like, let's never actually duel to the death. Just a friendly duel. Not so friendly for Cacao though, as they catch him.
Yeah, Watch really getting caught out right there. And the lack of wards, I mean, the ward line has been slowly pushed back by Najin Blacksword. You know, first it started out more in the river, then they pushed it into the KT Bullets jungle. Now it's kind of pushed towards the back of their jungle, actually. And Najin Blacksword just taking over right now. The fear that they have sown into the minds of the KT Bullets with this composition is really doing work.
Yeah, it really is. A little bit of a gold lead, but a big lead in other areas.
Well, this match is really what we kind of expected here.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Group B. It's Group B. What do you expect?
Very interesting strategies from both teams. And maximizing that value. Peng going to go back, pick up a death cap, no doubt.
Yeah.
Sork shoes while he's at it. I mean, his single target burst is crazy right now. And look at this, Twin Shadows comes down from Watch.
Oh, okay, cool.
So this is just another form of engage. I really like the adaptation that we're seeing from Najin Sword. I mean, we have, of course, the Rengar Syndra combo, which doesn't offer the best engage, but they're fixing it in a lot of ways. Earlier Talisman, so they can get those engages off, that they struggled with last game against the Kiting of the Bullets.
Yep.
And this time around, the Twin Shadows as well, able to slow them down enough that they'll be able to get in there from the flanks or from the front even with the Talisman.
10 seconds left on Dragon, and KT knows it. They're trying to get there in time. Prey camping himself outside the pit. There's a nice ward. I don't know if they saw that one go down. Oh, actually, they do get Song. Song has to flash away. Could have used that for the engage, but keep in mind, they have the Talisman. They do have some engage.
Dangerous.
And yeah, a little bit. Very dangerous. Song may decide to go in on this. We'll see. There we go. Maffa gets a bit caught. Has to flash. Crescendo catches Maffa, but nobody else. Insec dueling with Prey now in that bot lane. And here we go. Peng getting a little bit low. Expression in the back lines onto Cacao. Maffa, everybody going onto Expression now. He has to flash. And it's a good fight for Cacao so far. Prey trying to zone from the outside. Expression finally goes down. I think this is going to be a dragon for KT.
Wow, that was actually a really big misuse of Najin Blacksword's composition right there. They popped the Ghost so early, and then they, right there we saw Song letting his inexperience as a support show perhaps a little bit. I mean, he botched that flash crescendo, and you can't do that. I mean, the Talisman used as well, so
yeah.
Also, credit to Insec for zoning Prey out of that entire fight, which caused a big degree of hesitancy from Najin Blacksword in terms of going in. And all of a sudden, you know, we're moving back towards a 2K gold game.
Yeah, a little bit of a break in the armor for Najin's Sword. That's exactly what the KT Bolts have been looking for.
Wow, well, I don't know. All of those those engage items and abilities used.
Yeah. Oh, what? Wolf, what are you doing? Huh?
Peng was trying to
Whoa.
drag him all the way to the pit. The
I
Wolf
guess
doesn't
so.
go that far from home.
Can't blame the Wolf. That's the farthest a Wolf has ever been away from home, I'm pretty sure. Wow. There we go. He's safe. He's safe at home now. He's just going to stay there. I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't want to go with Cinder either. Now, if you look at Mafa, he did actually swap over for that ancient coin.
Yeah, I think
It's about time.
it's about time.
Yeah.
Still doesn't have that same kind of tankiness that we saw from the Tarek earlier today, played by Wolf.
Not the Wolf that's been traveling far from home, but the player named Wolf.
The player named Wolf,
Right.
of course. And Insect going for a bit of frozen heart action, of course, going to do a lot against the ultimate of Prey. Should he be able to get into that back line, but Prey's still getting scarier and scarier, finishing his Phantom Dancer now.
Yeah. And it looks like the mid lane turret will be the target here for the KT Bullets. Although they have to be very careful. They don't want to get flanked by Sword. Like we talked about earlier, 3 potential invisible champions on that team coming in. A little bit scary.
Now, Talisman popped right there from Song,
Yeah.
but nothing made of it, really. They managed to get back to the mid lane, at least defend the turret. Prey putting down a ward in the river. He was pretty much just waiting right here. KT Bullets happy to drag this one out to get back into it.
Oh yeah, the longer it lasts, the better chance they have of taking it. Sword really needs to kind of look for these plays.
Well, they've lost control of their local jungle again in terms of that vision, so. Well, they need some sort of engage right now, and they're just not getting it. Prey is putting on a little bit of pressure up here, but he doesn't have good vision inside the jungle. Uses his ambush, though, just to make sure that there isn't any unpleasant surprise waiting for him in the tri-brush.
Yeah, with the red buff, he's looking pretty strong right now in a 1v1, but a 1v2, that's a different story.
Now, I think this is overly passive from Najin Blacksword right here.
A little bit, yeah.
I can't blame them after botching that last team fight a little bit.
It does kind of hurt the morale a little bit. They're going to probably collapse onto this tier 2 bot turret. We'll see. Ooh, Prey trying to duel, though. There's the barrier from Score, and actually Elise coming down to cause some trouble as well. Expansion coming in. Prey with the flash. Cacao has to back off as well. Can they get him? It looks like they will. Really nice moves yet again from Prey to stay alive.
That's the danger of all of these invisible champions. There could be one person there, there could be 3, you never really know. And now Najin Blacksword, are they going to make a play on this Baron? They've taken out the jungler, they have a limited amount of time.
Well, there are a bunch of wards there, so KT is going to know this is happening. The question is, can they contest it without Cacao? We're about to find out because Sword's going for it.
Yeah, Prey coming through, will be able to heal him off this Baron back up to full right.
Yeah, oh, they're going to disengage. Okay, so they do see KT coming in because of those jungle wards.
Well, they since they were all making that play in the bot lane, they had to walk all the way back up, and unfortunately for Najin Blacksword, the death time was just not quite long enough. The Coward may have been able to make it if it was delayed. Prey gets chunked really hard.
Yeah, nearly gets caught. They're lucky he didn't get shockwave there as well. Looks like they sent Watch to clear out that top lane minion wave as well. Made sense. Peng trying to zone as best he can, but it's going to be a mid lane turret in favor of the KT Bullets.
Yeah, and the interesting thing right there is because of the decision that Najin Blacksword made, they not only didn't get Baron, but they got hurt by Baron enough that they weren't able to defend that turret either. So they actually ended up losing an objective, even though they picked up a kill. So we remain very close here.
Yeah, the 3K gold lead pretty much meaningless at this point. Towers more or less even as well. I think that blue buff.
Now, Peng is really the main danger. The solo lane's pretty far ahead for Najin Blacksword. So I think that they need to stop really grouping right now and start thinking about split pushing more, just because they have that advantage of, Expression has been grouping, but I think he actually needs to go back to his old ways, really.
Yeah.
In this situation, because he can overpower, theoretically, based on the gold lead that he has. And not only that, but you never know when Prey or Watch may be coming into that lane.
Very true.
KT Bullets.
Oh boy, Score coming in under Expansion a little bit. Mafa running in. He has nearly close enough. Those boots of mobility helping out, but can't quite reach. Ooh, Cacao coming in. Nice expression. Jumps over to Cacao. To continue that disengage.
Has to use his ultimate in that situation, though,
Yeah,
so that's one less threat. They also push him out from farming. Prey just trying to farm his way across this map. I guess that's Najin Sword's plan, is just farm Prey like crazy.
Well, I think we've seen that work for them before. You know, I feel like that's worked okay in the past for Najin Sword. And they're going to get a dragon here, so that certainly does help. Oh, two-shot barrage coming fairly close. Score is one of the better dragon stealers with two-shot barrage out there, too.
Indeed he is. Watch still playing a bit of a dangerous game. Here they go for the pick.
They can't trigger. They're going to ultimate as well with that. Insect gets a little bit trapped, gets hit by the crescendo. Mafa comes in, doesn't really have the best dazzle. Everybody disengages. A little bit awkward on both sides, and Sword's going to be happy to back off of that one.
Mostly awkward on Sword sides. Again, they use all their forms of engage. Flash Crescendo, Twin Shadows, and they come up with nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it was awkward, no doubt.
I don't know. Sword's just not closing this out particularly well.
Yeah.
They're over-committing.
They looked so
they're
good.
They're playing too passively at some points, and then when they do decide to commit, they just can't execute.
Yeah.
It's quite strange to watch.
I mean, I think you have to chalk it up to, I mean, you can make an assumption and chalk it up to a little bit of the incohesiveness or the inexperience with Song on support. I mean, everything still looks a little bit awkward there.
Yeah, but even the play calling for Sword this game is extremely passive. I mean, I understand their situation and how few risks they want to take, and yes, they do have a lead, and they are able to continue to grow that lead.
Yeah, they can
just
still win.
slowly. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they still are in the lead, but this delay makes you, wonder a little bit. Makes you worry.
Prey just farming up non-stop here. He is sitting on a mountain of gold.
It certainly is. And he's caught up now to score in CS.
But ultimately, there still has to be that setup, right? There still has to be that engage to get Spray and Pray off on a large series of targets to really make something of it.
Yep.
The advantage I suppose they have is they can always set up a pick with Blade of the Ruin King as well, so they're not really limited. And there we go, the classic Korean Rengar build. Sunfire to Spirit Visage to Bone Tooth Necklace.
Yep.
And then he'll probably build into Trinity Force after that.
That's what we usually see, yeah. Time to get rid of that Doran shield. It served him well, but I think it's time for it to go.
I think it is too. Look at this kick out coming in. Flash from Peng.
Cocoon did not work out.
Yeah, both flashes used right there. Some good reaction. Peng feeling a little bit unsafe in that situation. And
wouldn't blame him.
Great reflexes to get out of that.
We've seen some really great escapes this game.
All right, well, Frozen Heart now finished on Insect, so it took him a while, but he has been able to pick up that item. However, he is so far behind in terms of CS right now.
Yeah. Well, Prey comes in. They do get the slow into Insect expansion coming in as well. He's popped his ultimate. Has to turn around, though. And these engages, I mean, they just are not working out for Sword.
Well, both teams know that this may mean their ticket to the playoffs or not. So.
Yeah, really. More so for Sword, of course. They go 0-2 here. It's a big deal. Cacao walks right into the crescendo. They're going to be able to insta-give him quite quickly. And is that going to be enough?
I mean, the thing is that against Orianna, just constantly firing her ball into that pit, and with crescendo down, you don't have a good way of counter-engaging.
Yeah.
So it's not a safe Baron, really, for Najin Sword. Especially with Peng going back, they're not even going to turn this into anything at all. Just another kill onto Cacao.
Yeah. Wow, what a close game.
Yeah, two very low kill games.
Yeah. Very
so
strategic,
far,
though.
Yeah, very strategic between Sword and the KT Bullets.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what exactly Insect is going to go into next. If he's going to get even tankier, whether he'll opt for just a little bit of damage.
We'll see. Well, just kind of a ward war now around the Baron pit.
Well, I'm glad this part of League of Legends hasn't changed at all, though.
Oh, yes. Same as it ever was.
A little bit more dangerous to clear pinks there. So it's just a little bit more risk involved, but Watch gets in.
Oh, that's right. A nice open for Watch to start things off with. And look at that. Syndra tossing orbs over the top. A lot of damage. Insect getting low, gets taken out, and Sword in good position to turn this into a big fight. Ryu pops the berry, but it's not enough.
Oh!
Whoa! What a shockwave from Ryu. That turned things around a little bit. But did they turn them around enough? We'll find out. Score picks up the kill. A double kill coming in from Expression, though. Sword fought to a bit of a standstill. Song not quite able to finish off Score. Can he help Expression against Kakao, though?
And look at this Score coming back in. He's trying to heal off the golems. Kakao has to get out. Score offering just a little more poke, but that was
what a fight.
A razor's edge fight between both teams right there.
Man.
Very impressive play from both the KT Bullets and Najin Blacksword to escape that. Let's take a look at this one again. So they sweep it out right there. Kakao, most players getting caught in there, especially going back, zoning out the backline. True Shot Barrage goes over the top. Kakao on the outside. And look at this Ryu with the patience right here. Kites backwards, and Frey. That was actually a tremendous mistake there by Najin Blacksword.
Yeah.
Grouping right there before the shockwave had been used. And if they hadn't done that, if they had just waited a little bit longer or gone over the wall perhaps, they wouldn't have been in that situation, and they certainly would have cleaned up that team fight.
Yeah.
All right, KT Bullets going for a Baron, though.
They are indeed.
Expression in the bot lane.
The thing is there's no outs really for Najin Sword right now, too, so they can't do a lot to stop this. KT gonna claim that Baron. Oh, yeah, they do take it. And Sword tries to engage Watch, a bit caught up. Song in big trouble now as well. Tries to get away, can't do it. Ryu with another kill there. Now KT's gonna chase, they've got the Baron. They're super powered. Prey trying to do as much as he can. The shockwave brings in Prey again, and Mafa over the top. It looks like KT's going to be able to close this one out in this particular fight anyway. Watch on the run, away from everything else. Expression is coming around. Yeah, Peng. Peng doing a lot of damage as well. These fights are so close.
Losing 3 for 2 right there in spite of getting the Baron buff. Najin Blacksword continues to hold this lead. And a lot of it's due to how farmed Expression is. We can see that Bone Tooth Necklace stacking up, getting a little bit dangerous.
Man. Definitely one of the closest games we've had in a while, and Score just decides to light up Watch in the bot lane.
Yeah, that was a really important kill right there.
Yeah.
Takes him out. That will give them a little bit of a timing window as the players from the KT Bullets coming back up. But this is intense. And look at this. Kakao is going for Leandries as his next item. So knowing that he needs to deal a little bit more damage, and the real threat here is Expression.
Yeah, definitely. Enormous amounts of damage coming out of Ryu, though, too.
Well, Najin Blacksword did buy themselves some time at the very least, picking off several members, eliminating that Baron, and still maintaining a lead. Not much of a lead at this point, but a lead nonetheless.
Yeah, about 5K, which once you're over 50K for each team, it really doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, the tragic thing about this is that they are so reliant on Song for these engages, and Song, well, Watch now too with the Twin Shadows, and they just keep using it slightly wrong, and Song keeps making slight misplays. I mean, flashing out of that fight, even though Score had been healing up on the golems with the double golems with his Bloodthirster.
Yeah.
So even if Song had managed to glance something, any skill right there, I doubt he actually would have been able to deal the finishing blow.
Would have been close. I mean, without those golems being in position, that Q was about to hit, so it would have been close.
He just doesn't have very much AP. Now he has Crucible up.
Yep. Pretty good item for supports in Season 4. Good item in general, but something we're going to see a lot more often now.
Yeah, especially with the 2 single target stuns. This is fantastic. Watch having to pop the Twin Shadow just to back off right there.
Yep. Oh, Expression uses ultimate too, didn't he?
No.
Or did he? No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I thought so. I was like, he's really fast right now, yeah.
But still, again, there's another ultimate used. Of course, that one on the hunt on.
Pretty short cooldown.
Pretty short cooldown. But Najin Blacksword just kind of scrambling desperately to get an angle here, to create a pick, to find the KT Bullets out, and they just never could quite get there.
Yeah, this one's going to go down to the wire like we knew it would. And I mean, Najin Sword literally, for all intents and purposes, fighting for their lives in Champions right now. Spray went invisible for a second there. Thought he could maybe ambush them.
Yeah, look at this Alacrity enchantment onto Olaf right now. Insect needs to be as fast as possible to get into the back line with his ultimate. He's got to create that
here we go. Agony's Embrace will be engaged. Najin's Sword coming in. Ryu looking for an opportunity to get that nice shockwave. Sword spreading out nicely, though. Really tentative situation. Both teams just so hesitant to go in.
Well, Flash Crescendo is up for Najin Blacksword, so they have yet another opportunity to get that big engage that they need.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, I don't know. This is gonna be a tight finish. Expression, Expression gets caught with the cocoon. He gets hit with the ball as well. In a lot of trouble, half health. Insect uses the opportunity to try to get back into the lines. Has to back off though.
Yeah, both tanks taking a lot of damage right there.
Yeah.
You can see the strategy now. Cacao really is trying to focus down Expression and keep him tied up. With the Leandries, he's going to be able to do it faster than anybody else.
Yep.
Due to the high HP on Expression. So
this is probably, well, maybe going to mean a turret for Sword. We'll see. No, not quite. Score throwing those mystic shots takes a big chunk out of Prey. Immediately healed, though, by Song. Yeah, it's a tentative situation. Sword with that slight advantage still. And they have the map pressure now. Another turret would be nice.
The problem is that Najin Blacksword is neither very good.
Oh, here comes Cacao from the outside. Gets a cocoon onto Peng. Crescendo over the top, though. Peng will Zonius. Keeps him alive. What a shockwave over the top. Really well timed. Sword backing off a little bit, though. Expression has to use his flash spray. Trying to kite back. And watch, can he do anything? Trying to fire off those hate spikes as he runs. Song flashes ahead. Tries to get some sort of damage in, some sort of healing done. And everything's so close right now. Insect into the back line. Thief, they take down Prey. And KT Bullets comes in, another kill for Ryu. And KT will win that extended team fight.
Song's flashes this game have been so bizarre.
Yeah, they have.
I don't really know what he expects to accomplish, like in the middle of a team fight right there. May have been able to flash and get that Crucibles down. We can take a look at it again in a little bit, but puts himself on the line. And the KT Bullets, thanks to Cacao, get a nice pick right there. They will take it. Another turret, and look at this. The KT Bullets will take a gold lead after this as well. And
pretty insane.
You have to say, like Riot stated, one of their goals was to make a comeback more possible to stop snowballing as a lot of their changes. And the KT Bullets turning this one around for sure.
Oh no, and Song gets himself caught. Yeah, really not a good game for Song. That is horrifying for Sword. Man.
Yeah, Cacao gets caught out.
Yeah.
However, so he'll go down as well. They do at least trade 1-for-1.
Yeah.
And a lot longer death timer on the jungle. So let's take a look at that again. So there's a sweep right there. And then Cacao comes in, flashes, gets a great cocoon down on a Peng. Look at this, Mafa follows up with another Dazzle. It was in flight before he got crescendoed. And then just the timing on that shockwave right after that was over, manages to take him down. Score opening up from the outside with a lot of auto attacks. Expression flashes out. So Insect now on the chase, gets sped up by the distance. Decisive focus now, watch immediately. Expression zones Ryu out, can't quite get them. Prey maybe goes a little far in, and Score gets a very good angle onto him right there.
Well, Insect just right on top of him doing that one. And Song, he's not really able to help at all.
So just good kiting right there, and Score's positioning over the course of that team fight vastly superior because Prey spent so much time trying to chase down some of those kills down the lane.
Yeah.
And that allowed Score to get a lot of auto attacks from the side.
Still a close fight. I mean, Ryu has just had a magnificent game.
I wonder, we now see the randomness coming down from Expression, and then after that, another Chain Vest. Maybe we should be seeing a little bit more damage items here from Expression so that he can actually kill somebody in these team fights.
I think so too, yeah. I mean, this is kind of a deviation from what we usually see from Rengars in Korea, and it's making a big difference in these team fights.
Yeah, Scepter now down for Cacao. We do see the Banshee's Veil coming out of Insect right now, so just one more item to deal with this kind of double AP composition.
Right.
Because they're going to be mostly the main damage threats. So
right, they've got to line in on Insect. Expression gets a bit caught with that slow. Syndra trying to stun, doesn't quite hit anyone they need to. Special pops his ultimate, though. Will he go in on this? No, has to turn around. Gee. Oh, Song needs to be so careful here.
In addition to the poor engage that the team comp of Sword offers, and combined with the poor engage that they've been attempting to execute.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Yep,
Special, and can they get a good Agony's Embrace? They get a good start, and there's a crescendo over top of Syndra's knockback. Mafa low already. Song in the middle of everybody. Prey gets taken out nearly immediately. Peng on the outside of the fight. Decent shockwave, though, and KT's looking okay. Double kill for Ryu, and KT gonna clean up that team fight again. Wow, I mean, Sword really did everything they could there, and it just wasn't enough.
Well, I mean, it was all about Insect being all over Prey in the back line, and Score's teamfight positioning. I mean, look at him. He hasn't even died yet this game. The Immortal Score is
back. The Immortal Score, man.
His positioning has just been straight up superior to Prey, and they're rushing it down. There is nothing, and the KT Bullets will come back in this one.
That is it, and the KT Bullets take a 2-0 in this incredibly close Group B.
Oh,
and
this
Najin's
is
Sword.
dire for Najin's Sword now.
It's going to be nearly impossible for Sword to get out of the group. Not impossible, but very unlikely.
Well, it's a huge sigh of relief for the KT Bullets as well, because they managed to probably punch their ticket to the playoffs with the